was not supposed to be here today, but I am. Because someone has said yes to become an organ donor. And it was 4 years ago that I was diagnosed with cancer. And in order to get cancer-free, I needed a transplant. A transplant of 5 organs. My stomach, my liver, my pancreas, and there were the small intestines. I was put on a waiting list for this. A waiting list that I would describe to be like a living nightmare. It's just horrible. Because every day you get worse and worse. And all you can do is wait. There were so many thoughts about life and death. And I felt fear. And I felt frustration. Because there was nothing that I could do. And also I was hopeful. One thing that I thought a lot about was that suddenly I was receiving, but I had not myself expressed my will to become an organ donor. It felt so wrong, and I was really ashamed about it. But yet I hadn't been confronted with the question. And now I know how important that is. You have to express your will. Please think about this. The following. If you would take an organ and accept it to become alive again, shouldn't you also give? And then one day, I got the phone call. It was a pretty weird phone call. I remember I stood on the phone and I said, "Are you kidding me?" And she said, "No," with a very calm voice. She said, "Your organs are here." And my first thought was, where can I go and pick them up? After my surgery, I had a lot of complication. And every day, my doctors tried to save my life, and I stayed on an intensive care for 4 months. This time was really tough for me, but also for my family. One day, my father was with me, and he said, "What do you want to do today? What can we do for you?" And I just felt, I want to go outside. I was still in the intensive care, lying down, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. And I said, I want to get outside, and I want to lay down on the grass. I just want to feel the grass. This was pretty hard, consider my condition, infections and so on. But a couple of hours later, after I begged them, "Please help me," the nurses, my father, they carried me outside, and then they laid me down on the grass. And when I lay there, I touched the grass, and I remember looking up to the sun, and I felt, life is so beautiful. I want to live, and I want to live it. And I knew that it was up to me. And a couple of weeks after that moment, I was moved to another department. And that was also the first time that I heard about these games. A game that is called the World Transplant Games. It's sports activities for athletes who are transplanted. And it was going to be hosted 2 years from then here in Sweden, in Gothenburg. And I thought, wow, if I can manage just to be there in the audience and, try to applaud. I was sitting in a wheelchair at that moment. But then my rehab, I trained really hard, and I started to build up and imagine that, well, Martha, maybe you can compete in 5 different events for your 5 organs. Wouldn't that be something? So I trained, and then last summer, at the opening ceremony, I held the code of conduct. I was honored to do that in front of more than 1,500 people. We were there together. The atmosphere was so great. We were happy. We were healthy. We were going to go competing against each other. And one moment, or 1 minute that I do remember, the opening ceremony, it was when we all stood up. We stood up, and in 1 minute, we honored our donors, the ones who weren't there with us, and also the ones who had died on the waiting list. Although we were competitors competing against each other, we were already winners. We had won the gift of life. At the Games, I also met my friend and our colleague, Peter Karstedt. And we have started an organization which is called MOD, and it stands for More Organ Donation. Here in Sweden, the waiting lists are getting longer and longer. And at the same time, the organ donors are getting fewer. We need to increase the awareness, and we are convinced that is so much more that we can do. Only 15% of us in Sweden are registered in the donor register, although we are positive for becoming a donor. We want to make it easier to express the will and take action. So we have developed a digital donor card that you can download on your smartphone. And just a click away, you can express your will, and then you can also share it. You can share it with an SMS, you can mail it, you can Twitter it, and you can even share it on Facebook. So, in a way to make others to do the same. Amongst other things that we're doing, we're also out in school teaching and educating youth about this question. Did you know that 1 donor can save up to 8 people's lives? I started this speech by saying, I was not supposed to be here today. And there are many people, a number of people, that I would like to thank for being here. And this is my way. This first gold medal that I won at the World Transplant Games 2011, I want to give it to my donor with family. I cannot thank you enough. I think of you, and time to time, I also light a candle for you. The second gold medal, I want to give it to my family. You are my everything. And the third gold medal that I won, it goes to the staff at the Sahlgrenska University Hospital. Thank you for dedicating your life to saving others. The fourth gold medal. This is a dedication to everyone who are out there waiting. In Sweden, there are over 800 people who are standing there today, and I know how hard it is, and my thoughts are with you. Finally, the last gold medal is to someone who put her on the line and went beyond the borders and got back to life. And that's me, because I'm worth it. Thank you.